Overlook senior exercises that trigger heart attack risk. Ignore the next 5 minutes of this message, and you could wake up tomorrow in a nightmare scenario. You might feel your heartbeat surge, your knees buckle under unexpected stress, or even sense a single wrong move transforming into a life-altering debilitation. Picture heading out for your routine run just like you did decades ago, only to collapse in the middle of the street because your 65-year-old joints or arteries can't handle that youthful intensity anymore. In an instant, a hidden health minefield can erupt into a frightening heart crisis, leaving you lying in a hospital bed wondering why no one warned you sooner. The cruel reality is this: as we pass 60, our bodies morph in ways most of us underestimate. Bones weaken, reflexes slow, arteries stiffen, and cartilage thins even if we still feel energetic. Those unstoppable workouts we did in our younger years become ticking time bombs for our cardiovascular system and skeletal structure. Before you dismiss these cautions, remember how often senior individuals thought they were safe until an unforeseen collapse or an unexpected heart trouble turned their entire world upside down. I'm an award-winning physician journalist and have personally seen too many older adults paying a crushing price. They come in believing that daily long-distance runs or intense weightlifting regimens are the only means to hold on to youth. Instead, they leave the hospital battling new limitations, like a shoulder so damaged it needs surgery, or arterial blockages that spark a brush with stroke. Countless families find themselves coping with heartbreaking losses or irreversible disability, all because no one explained that senior physiology demands a smarter, more protective approach to fitness. Let me share one story that still rattles me when I think about it. Roger, a proud 67-year-old, clung to his nostalgic love of marathons. He had run them in his 30s and 40s, so he believed his body could replicate that same performance decades later. On a routine afternoon, he pushed himself a bit harder, felt a searing jolt through his knees, and soon after found himself facing advanced osteoarthritis, along with a near-fatal scare when tests uncovered that his arteries were dangerously inflexible under high-intensity demands. Roger's near catastrophe became a stark lesson. Beyond his crippled knees, his doctors diagnosed borderline arrhythmia, an electrical glitch in the heart that had lain silently dormant. All those proud personal records he tried to relive turned out to be a pathway to serious risk, including the possibility of a stroke if that arrhythmia flared up. Instead of easy daily movements, he suddenly required a walker and physical therapy. Proof that ignoring the body's natural aging processes can spell ruinous consequences. Roger's ordeal might sound unusual, but it is alarmingly typical among seniors who refuse to modify routines meant for younger bodies. Everyone wants to stay active and keep that spark of youth, but many older adults believe the only way to do this is by duplicating their 30-year-old workout plan. Ignoring decades of physiological changes can be the difference between thriving in your golden years or suffering avoidable injuries. Now that you know the stakes, let's delve into the science of why these dangers skyrocket after 60 and what you can do about it. Our bodies naturally evolve with each birthday we celebrate, a fact supported by numerous health authorities. The National Institute on Aging highlights that muscle mass decreases, a process known as sarcopenia, bone density declines, and cartilage thins as we move past midlife. Stiffening arteries make abrupt spikes in blood pressure more hazardous, which is precisely why an older adult might face a cardiac crisis while attempting a sprint they handled with ease at 35. Think of it like an aging electrical system in a house. It can still handle ordinary loads, but any power surge can cause short circuits or fires. Harvard Chan School of Public Health explains that older adults often carry conditions quietly slight arterial narrowing or mild valve defects, which don't cause immediate symptoms in everyday life. These silent conditions can suddenly become life-threatening when subjected to intense strain, such as an explosive workout or a rapid run. Essentially, your margin for error diminishes as you age, and what was once a mild stress can tip you into a cardiac meltdown if you're not careful. The good news: safe exercise can transform your health, but only if you recognize these concealed vulnerabilities and work around them. There's no doubt that physical activity at any age remains beneficial. However, the type, duration, and level of intensity should align with your body's current abilities, not what it could do in its prime. Keep in mind that reining in the risk doesn't mean giving up movement entirely. Sedentary living opens the door to its own devastating complications like type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure. Instead, you must target the kind of exercise that fortifies your heart and joints, instead of shredding them into potential crisis. First on the list of problematic activities is high-impact running. While jogging or marathon training might have once been an excellent method to trim fat and boost endurance, it can become a knee-crunching, hip-pounding hazard by the time you reach your 60s. Studies published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy indicate a roughly 60% rise in major joint injuries among those over 65 who continue with frequent, high-impact runs. Combine compromised cartilage with a heart that might be less flexible under sudden stress, and you risk blowouts in both joint stability and cardiac function. High-intensity running also demands rapid increases in heart rate, which can be catastrophic for older individuals with undetected plaque or narrowing arteries. A single attempt at a sprint could send your blood pressure soaring, instigating an arrhythmia or even a sudden heart attack. We often overlook the mental dimension as well. Many seniors feel guilty about downgrading from running to walking, fearing they'll lose their fitness identity. But ironically, a safer activity that keeps you mobile is far superior to a risky exercise that might leave you bedridden for months. Next comes heavy weightlifting, the sort that pushes you to your absolute max. In younger years, loading a barbell and powering through bench presses or squats might have built up muscle and confidence. But for older adults, dramatic lifts cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure, straining arteries that no longer expand as readily. The American Geriatric Society warns that these abrupt surges can trigger brain bleeds or aggravate hidden coronary disease, spelling disaster for those past a certain age. Beyond cardiovascular strain, heavy lifting also stresses tendons, ligaments, and joints that are less resilient with age. That means a slip in your form, especially under a heavy load, can tear a rotator cuff or damage a knee ligament. Recovery for seniors is a far cry from the quick bounce back of a 20-year-old athlete. Weeks or months might pass before normal function resumes, and some never fully regain their previous capacity. If you still crave strength training, there are safer, more moderate ways to maintain muscle mass without flirting with crippling injuries. Finally, let's talk about plyometrics movements like box jumps, burpees, or explosive leaps. These routines are often championed by elite athletes needing swift bursts of power. Yet, the abrupt landings can jar delicate joints, with even a small miscalculation causing fractures or sprains in seniors. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reminds us that falls are the top cause of injury-related fatalities in those over 65, so repeatedly jumping onto boxes can be a direct route to a catastrophic tumble. In addition to threatening the knees and hips, the intense cardiovascular demands of plyometrics can put older hearts into unsafe territory. A rapid jump in heart rate, combined with potential arterial stiffness, is a prescription for trouble if you harbor silent blockages. So while plyometrics might look appealing in energetic videos for younger folks, the risk-reward ratio is perilous for seniors. Fortunately, there are better ways to stay active without subjecting your body to those violent impacts. Having spelled out these danger zones, you might worry you'll never stay fit without risk. In truth, you can absolutely remain strong and agile, provided you swap high-impact routines for gentler yet effective methods. A well-chosen program can help you reduce the odds of heart complications and strengthen your bones without crippling your joints. Think of it as recalibrating your workout GPS, finding new routes that avoid potholes and dead ends. Brisk walking is the unsung hero of senior fitness. It elevates heart rate enough to support cardiovascular health without the knee-smashing jolt of running. Research from Harvard Medical School links consistent, brisk walks with a drop of more than 40% in mortality risk among older individuals. By maintaining a pace that challenges you slightly while still permitting conversation, you strengthen your heart, bolster circulation, and keep muscles engaged in a low-impact manner. Start with a manageable duration, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and build up gradually. Comfortable sneakers with proper arch support are essential, and it helps to choose terrain that's level and well-lit to reduce fall risk. Some seniors discover that inviting a friend or neighbor for a daily walk fosters both accountability and social connection, reinforcing emotional well-being. Over time, you'll likely notice improved stamina, joint comfort, And even better, mental clarity studies at the University of California, Irvine, have documented gains in memory for older adults who integrate regular walks. If you fear falling, you're not alone. This worry can cause many seniors to stay seated, ironically increasing the chance of a fall when they do stand because their stabilizing muscles weaken. Targeted balance drills like standing on one leg near a chair or walking heel to toe in a straight line can dramatically sharpen stability. According to the National Council on Aging, practicing these simple moves can slash your risk of dangerous falls by at least 33%. Think of balance training as a daily tune-up for your body's internal gyroscope. By focusing on small adjustments, like steadying yourself on one foot for 15 seconds, you re-educate your nervous system to respond more quickly if you stumble. This approach also lowers the mental fear that can keep you housebound. Once you feel more secure, you'll be more inclined to take daily walks, attend social gatherings, and live life without the constant dread of an accidental slip. Maintaining muscle mass matters, especially after 60, to prevent frailty and preserve independence. The Journal of Aging and Physical Activity reports that gentle yet consistent strength sessions using bands, small dumbbells, or bodyweight exercises can restore muscle fibers without the hazards of maximal lifts. Even brief stints of 10 to 15 minutes, twice weekly, help ward off sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that can compromise mobility. The secret lies in controlled, steady reps rather than explosive pushes, ensuring your heart rate and joints aren't overstressed. You might try wall push-ups, slow chair squats, or bicep curls with light resistance bands. It's essential to maintain proper form, so consider consulting a physical therapist or trainer specialized in senior fitness if you're unsure. Rebuilding muscle at this stage of life is entirely possible. It just needs more patience and less brute force. Over time, consistent training will pay dividends in everyday tasks like climbing stairs, lifting grocery bags, and even hugging your grandkids without strain. Real-life examples can be the final nudge that convinces you these modifications genuinely matter. Maria, a 69-year-old ex-librarian, decided to take up jogging to feel young the moment she retired. After 3 months, she developed severe knee swelling and ended up bedridden, panicking that her golden years were already ruined. She then switched to steady walks, easy balance drills, and minimal resistance band work, and 6 months later, she felt stronger, safer, and more energized than ever. Ray, a 72-year-old retired accountant, defined himself by the hefty weights he lifted at the gym. One ill-fated rep tore his shoulder's rotator cuff, plunging him into months of frustrating rehab where he needed help even buttoning his shirt. Returning to the gym, he chose lighter dumbbells in meticulous form, discovering he could still maintain decent muscle tone while eliminating the fear of another catastrophic injury. This approach would have saved me so much pain if I'd known earlier. Ray laments. Consider Becky, a 66-year-old dance enthusiast who loved doing high-intensity aerobics. She found herself gasping for air unexpectedly and dismissed it as just being out of shape. After nearly fainting during a vigorous aerobic class, she visited her doctor, who found irregularities in her heart rhythm. Switching to slower dance routines focused on graceful movements not only preserved her love of dancing, but also safeguarded her cardiovascular health from another brush with danger. If you're ready to jumpstart a safer routine, here's a structured, week-long plan. Each day targets 3 key elements: moderate cardiovascular work, balance drills, and light strength exercises to yield quick, meaningful results without placing your health on a razor's edge. Think of this as a longevity reset that aligns with the realities of an older body. If you're uncertain or have known medical conditions, always consult your physician before diving in. Day 1, take a 10-minute brisk walk at a pace slightly above your casual stroll. Then try 2 sets of wall push-ups with 10 repetitions each. Keeping your elbows close to your torso, focus on deliberate, controlled movements to stimulate your chest and arm muscles without jerking your joints. Day 2. Spend 5 minutes practicing one-leg balance while standing next to a table or chair. Switch legs every 20 to 30 seconds to avoid fatigue on a single side. Finish with 2 sets of seated leg lifts for 10 reps each leg, engaging your thigh muscles. Notice how your core also activates to maintain stability. Day 3. Bump your walking time to 12 minutes, keeping a brisk yet comfortable pace. Then use a light dumbbell or a filled water bottle for 2 sets of gentle bicep curls, 10 reps each. Maintain good posture, imagining a string pulling you up from the top of your head. Day 4. Work on side-to-side stepping for about 5 minutes, shifting your weight in a controlled manner. Keep a sturdy object within reach to hold if you start feeling unsteady. Wrap up with 2 sets of half squats, 8 to 10 reps each, dipping only as low as your knees can handle without pain. This helps build strength in your quadriceps and glutes safely. Day 5, walk for 15 minutes at a consistent pace that slightly elevates your heart rate but doesn't leave you gasping. Incorporate 2 sets of seated rows with a resistance band, 10 reps each to target your back and shoulder muscles. Engage your core by drawing your belly button gently inward. Day 6, practice 3 minutes of heel-to-toe walking in a straight line, pausing to rest between passes to avoid dizziness. Add 2 sets of overhead arm presses using light weights or cans, performing about 8 to 10 reps each. Focus on slow, steady motion to protect your shoulders. Feel that gentle burn in your upper arms without risking strain. Day 7, reward yourself with a leisurely 20-minute walk, allowing time to reflect on how your body feels compared to day 1. Close the session with 2 sets of slow calf raises, 10 reps each using a chair for balance if necessary. Gradually lift your heels off the ground, hold for a moment, and then lower them gently. By now, you'll likely notice subtle improvements in stamina and equilibrium, demonstrating the power of consistent, age-appropriate movement. Feel free to adjust the exercises according to your comfort level or physician's advice. Some individuals start by replacing certain strength drills with simple stretching if they have advanced joint concerns. What matters is the principle daily: modest activities that activate muscles, enhance blood flow, and improve balance. Don't forget to monitor for unusual aches or dizziness if anything seems off. Consult your physician for personalized guidance. Not ready to commit to a full week? Give the 24-hour challenge a try. Take a 10-minute brisk walk. Spend 5 minutes on basic balance moves, such as standing on one foot for 15 seconds each side, and conclude with 1 set of chair squats or wall push-ups. This bite-sized challenge can be a fun test of willpower and a quick spark of motivation, especially if you share it with friends or loved ones. Often, completing just 1 day of a more mindful routine builds momentum. Whether you tag a family member or send a friendly text to a buddy, urging them to join can create a supportive mini-community. If you feel any sharp pain, shortness of breath, or persistent discomfort, pause and consult your physician. Better to tweak your regimen early than risk pushing through something that could escalate into a serious issue. Have you ever noticed this sign comment, "I feel it if you relate, I'm safe if not," and add a question for the doctor? Your experiences might illuminate an aspect of senior health that someone else is also wrestling with. Connecting through comments can build a valuable pool of shared knowledge, offering reassurance and tips that no single expert could provide alone. Don't underestimate the power of collective wisdom. Some older adults discover that reading others' stories helps them identify health issues they ignored. Whether it's unexpected dizziness after a certain exercise or a lingering ache in one knee, these personal accounts remind us we're not alone. So drop your comment, share your question, and let's encourage a healthier, safer community. Still skeptical about the importance of gentle exercise in older age? According to Dr. Michael Greger, who summarized cardiovascular risk in his 2019 paper in the International Journal of Preventive Health, even moderate physical activity can reduce mortality and fortify heart health among the elderly. The World Health Organization, WHO, similarly advises that seniors engage in low to moderate aerobic activity each week, emphasizing safety over intensity. WHO Guidelines on Physical Activity, 2020. The unanimous stance of these organizations: consistent, moderate exercise trumps sporadic, high-risk bursts when it comes to longevity. Harvard Chan School of Public Health has also noted that a gradual approach tailored to the aging body can stabilize or even improve overall health markers, while drastically lowering the chances of injury. Harvard Channer's 2018 analysis. This means you'll likely see improvements in blood pressure, resting heart rate, and cholesterol levels, provided you stay consistent. There's no shame in scaling workouts to a safer zone. The body's capacity remains adaptable at any age. just in different ways than before. By honoring those limits, and you also gain greater quality of life. Safe exercise significantly reduces but never completely erases health crises such as stroke or heart trouble. Genetics, long-standing conditions, and unpredictable events still factor into the equation. However, it's clear that if you want to hedge your bets, do so with a gentle regimen that steadily enhances stamina and strength. If you have even the slightest concern, schedule a visit with your physician and ask for a full checkup or stress test to measure how your body responds under controlled activity. Physical activity also releases endorphins, which brighten mood and can lessen anxiety or mild depression. For many seniors, consistent exercise can improve sleep quality, getting those vital hours of rest that accelerate muscle repair and memory consolidation. Think of it as a two-for-one deal. You fortify your body against injuries while also bolstering emotional resilience. Neglecting exercise means risking not only your physical health, but your mental well-being too. Do you finish a brief workout, then spend the rest of the day seated? That habit undercuts your gains. Small changes like standing every half hour, walking around the house during phone calls, or stretching your legs while watching TV keep your blood circulating and muscles from stiffening. Another major pitfall is dehydration, which older adults may overlook due to a diminished thirst response. Low fluid intake can induce dizziness, muscle cramps, and a faster heart rate, undermining the benefits of your safer workout routine. Keep water close at hand, unless your physician advises fluid restrictions for certain conditions like kidney problems. Nutrition also plays a pivotal role. You need sufficient protein, vitamins, and minerals to repair tissues and maintain bone integrity. Incorporate lean meats, legumes, dairy, or plant-based proteins in your meals to replenish what exercise depletes. It's not all about the mechanics of exercise. For many seniors, shifting from high-impact regimens to more measured routines triggers feelings of loss of youthful vigor, or a sense of identity wrapped up in intense workouts. Society, too, often glamorizes sweat-drenched boot camps or marathon feats, making moderated exercise feel less exciting by comparison. Yet, refusing to adapt means potentially facing steep medical bills and heartbreak if an avoidable injury or event occurs. Cultural influences can be potent, pushing older individuals to prove they're not too old to keep up. But the wise approach to aging lies in adjusting your methods so you can remain active, not in smashing records that belong to a younger version of yourself. Real strength comes from resilience and sustainability. Exercise patterns you can maintain decade after decade without catastrophic setbacks. Never interpret caution as weakness. See it as a method of safeguarding the independence you value. Fitness apps and online challenges can be motivating, but many are geared toward the general population or younger adults. If you're following a 30-day plyometric challenge you found on the internet, you risk ignoring crucial factors like arthritic knees or borderline hypertension. Look instead for programs tailored to seniors, or at least those with clear modifications. And always trust your body's signals. If an app tells you to keep going despite sharp pain, you're better off scaling back and consulting your physician. Speaking of fueling your workouts, seniors might require an increase in protein to stave off sarcopenia. Even though appetites often diminish with age, adding a protein smoothie or focusing on meals that combine quality protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats can help recovery. Fruits and vegetables remain indispensable for providing vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. This well-rounded approach ensures your body can rebuild tissues and handle moderate exercise without hitting energy deficits. Quality rest amplifies every other aspect of your fitness journey. People over 60 typically need 7 to 9 hours of good sleep, allowing muscles to repair and the mind to consolidate new motor skills like improved balance. Using screens late at night can hamper this restorative process, so consider winding down with a book or gentle stretches. If you're dealing with chronic insomnia, mention it to your healthcare provider, as better sleep could significantly boost your safety and results. Motivation ebbs and flows, so it's wise to establish structures that keep you consistent. Recruit a friend or family member as your accountability partner. Set alarms or reminders on your phone, or even join a small local exercise group for seniors. Celebrating small milestones like completing 3 consecutive days of brisk walks can reignite your commitment. Rewards don't have to be extravagant. Sometimes, the joy of less pain or improved stamina is enough to inspire you. Physical activity can be more than formal workouts. Gardening, gently dancing at a family reunion, or walking your dog also count toward moving your muscles and lubricating those joints. The trick is to stay active in multiple small ways throughout the day. Adding short breaks to stretch or walk indoors can have a compounding effect on your overall health. Medicine and health research evolve, so remain open to new findings. Trusted experts might periodically revise guidelines on which exercises are best suited for seniors. By staying informed through legitimate sources like peer-reviewed journals or medical associations, you maintain a fresh perspective on aging well. Always consult your physician before making large shifts in exercise intensity or frequency, especially if you have existing conditions. Those who insist on pushing their older bodies as if they were still 30 often end up paying a high price. Chronic knee pain, irreversible cartilage damage, or a life-threatening cardiovascular episode can strip away independence overnight. Hospital bills, rehabilitation costs, and emotional upheaval overshadow any short-term fitness achievement. Alternatively, those who adapt gracefully can continue staying active, playing with grandchildren, and savoring retirement without the looming fear of a catastrophic setback. You might ask, am I truly at risk if I feel fine? The hidden nature of many senior health risks lies precisely in this deceptive sense of wellness unnoticed until it's too late. Think about your heart's silent blockages, your thinning cartilage, or borderline high blood pressure. Even if you've always done it, reevaluating your routines is a small step that could avert huge consequences. Avoid high-risk routines, sprints, intense weightlifting, and explosive jumps can trigger joint breakdowns and sudden heart strain. It's no secret that as joints and cardiovascular systems age, they become less tolerant of punishing workouts. One ill-timed jolt to the knees or a surge in blood pressure can upend your golden years in a flash. Protect yourself by steering clear of these potential landmines. Embrace safer alternatives. Brisk walks, structured, balanced drills, and light to moderate strength training preserve and even improve your health. These approaches gently challenge muscles and elevate heart rate without pushing your body into crisis territory. Over time, you'll notice a big jump in how you feel day to day, from better stamina to less joint pain. Adaptation is not about settling for less. It's about seizing a more sustainable path to fitness. Consistency over extremes. Even the best exercises fail if done haphazardly. Slow and steady often wins the race, particularly when it comes to building resilience against injuries or serious issues like a stroke. Instead of punishing yourself with sporadic, high-intensity workouts, aim for stable routines several times a week. This measured approach respects your body's limits and fosters improvements over the long haul. If these revelations speak to you, please show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and sharing with anyone who might be blindsided by unsafe senior fitness routines. Each share could spare someone an emergency room visit or a heartbreaking phone call to loved ones. Together, we can shift the conversation towards safer, smarter aging. So go ahead, spread the word, and empower those around you to take charge of their health. When you pass this along, encourage others to weigh in with their personal observations or questions. Maybe they've found an ingenious way to ease joint pain. Or perhaps they've discovered a local walking group that fuels motivation. The more we learn from one another, the stronger our collective health can become. Don't forget to add your own comment. Are you someone who says, I feel it? Or is it, I'm safe? Here's one question to leave you pondering. Which part of your current fitness routine might be the riskiest? And what's your plan to address it starting tomorrow? Reflect on that quietly or share your thoughts below. You might inspire another viewer to make a life-saving shift in their approach. After all, it's often the simplest choices like switching from running to walking that can have the most profound impact on your future. Throughout all of this, remember that none of these suggestions replace the guidance of a licensed healthcare provider. Always consult your physician before making significant changes to your exercise habits. No video or article can account for your unique medical background or coexisting conditions. But armed with knowledge, you can collaborate with your doctor to shape a regimen that fosters both safety and vitality. Embarking on a safer exercise routine also means rethinking how we measure success. Instead of clocking personal bests in weightlifting or marathon times, look for steady improvements in balance, daily energy, and emotional well-being. Over time, you'll likely find that these intangible gains mean far more than pounding through one more mile. Knowing you can navigate stairs without pain or carry groceries without gasping for air is far more rewarding than risking a meltdown for fleeting pride. We as a society must also shift how we celebrate senior fitness. Instead of praising extreme feats that might pose huge risks, we can highlight stories of older adults who reclaim health through sustainable day-to-day actions. This shift in perspective can reduce the stigma around choosing gentler, more mindful methods. Ultimately, it's about extending not just lifespan but health span, the portion of life lived in full health and functionality. Countless patients regret not recalibrating their workouts sooner. Some lose mobility entirely to an untimely injury or face a massive scare with a cardiac event that might have been preventable. Compare that with those who adopt moderate exercise. They often continue traveling, visiting family, and taking on new hobbies well into their 70s or 80s. Which scenario do you want for yourself? The body's ability to adapt is astonishing if given the chance. Even if you've been sedentary for years, incremental steps, literally, in the form of walking can ignite a cascade of positive changes. Enhanced blood flow, lower stress levels, and improved joint lubrication are all part of this slow-building transformation. But keep the extremes at bay to protect what you've built over a lifetime. Scientific literature from institutions like the American Geriatric Society and the CDC underscores that moderate, frequent activity is the gold standard for older adults. Where younger individuals might bounce back from a tough workout in days, seniors risk prolonged recoveries or permanent harm. No one is suggesting you hide indoors or stop moving entirely far from it. The point is to match your workouts to the capabilities of your 60-plus physiology rather than forcing it to meet the standards of your youth. Adapting your routine can open up a future of possibility. Enjoying a brisk stroll in a park, taking up low-impact dance, or even playing a friendly game of pickleball can feed that desire for activity without sinking you in the quicksand of injuries. Far from giving up, you're safeguarding your chance to remain active as you advance in years. The real sense of triumph comes from a balanced approach to wellness that lets you live freely. Seeking professional help can make the transition smoother. Physiotherapists, geriatric trainers, or specialized fitness instructors can assess your range of motion, muscle imbalances, and potential cardiovascular risks. Having that guidance can prevent you from going too hard too soon, or ignoring subtle red flags. And it brings peace of mind, making each workout a confident stride rather than a precarious gamble. So, to restate the key hazards, high-impact running can devastate older joints and shock the cardiovascular system. Heavy weightlifting can spike blood pressure and injure ligaments, and plyometrics can trigger falls or fractures. These are the triple threats that appear most frequently in hospital admissions for senior workout mishaps. None are inherently evil, but they're designed for younger bodies or advanced athletes who can manage the risk. For the 60-plus crowd, they often represent a gamble with extremely high stakes. We must prioritize function over flair. If an exercise endangers your independence, it's not worth the bragging rights. By contrast, safer, adaptable moves build a robust foundation, ensuring you have the energy and capability to tackle daily tasks or fun outings. Age might slow you down, but it doesn't have to stop you if you plan wisely. Think of every workout as an investment in your future. A single misstep might carry a massive physical and financial cost, so prevention is by far the better strategy. Spot potential issues early by monitoring your body during exercise. Any irregular heartbeat, sudden dizziness, or intense joint pain is a sign to pause and consult your physician. Early intervention can save you from the nightmare of prolonged rehabilitation or permanent damage. Once again, if this information resonates with you, show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing with others who may be blindly pushing themselves beyond safe limits. The more people we inform, the fewer heartbreaking stories of seniors collapsing mid-run or succumbing to severe injuries from misguided routines we'll have to hear. Knowledge is a powerful shield against avoidable tragedies. By spreading the word, you'll be taking an active role in building a healthier, more informed community. So ask yourself, right now, are you holding on to exercises that might be quietly undermining your future? Do you truly want to keep repeating the moves your 30-year-old self did? Or is it time to evolve into a regimen that aligns with your current reality? Take the time to plan, consult with a professional, and shift toward a safer way of nurturing fitness. You owe it to yourself and the people who love you to protect your well-being for the many years still ahead. Let's boil it down to 3 rapid-fire reminders. Steer clear of high-risk moves like heavy lifting and explosive jumps that place enormous strain on your aging body. Adopt gentle, sustainable routines including brisk walks, balanced practice, and light strengthening. Stay consistent and informed, adjusting your plan in partnership with your physician for the best results. If you found value in this script, please like, subscribe, and pass it along to someone who might be hurtling toward a hidden exercise trap. Your action could spare them from a cardiac scare or a painful rehabilitation. In the comments, remember to post "I feel it" if you've encountered a warning sign or "I'm safe" if you haven't, along with any questions for the doctor. Finally, let's keep the conversation alive with one question. Which activity in your daily routine seems the most hazardous? And how will you start altering it today?